Hey, good afternoon, everyone. This is NorvellCentral coming back at you with another YouTube video. And I just want to go ahead and skip the intro and go straight into the reason why I made this video today. I'm talking about the underrated players that you should be expecting during this spring and kind of some players that I want to kind of pinpoint on. And also, I'm going to give an honorable mention as well. The first one I have is redshirt sophomore running back Trey Benson. He had 6 rushes for 22 yards last season and 1 touchdown in the 2021 season with the Oregon Ducks. And this was a acquisition that Florida State fans were really skeptical on because of his injuries, specifically to his knee. And the thing about it is a lot of people were really skeptical at that. They were like, "Oh my gosh, it's another Mackenzie Milton issue. There's going to be a lot of injury concerns there. He's not going to be able to do right." And Norvell's just going after injured players. But I mean, when this injury happened, and whenever he's going to play during the season, it's going to be almost 2 years removed from that injury. And it's not like he had oh my gosh, he had so much nerve injury that he's going to lose his leg. I mean, it wasn't in that case of the scenario. It was a ligament damage. And when you have ligament damage, it's all going to come down to a mindset thing. And we saw with Keyshawn Hilton, he kind of had a resurrection, I guess you could say. It's kind of a bad example, but at the end of the day, Keyshawn Hilton has really bounced back from his knee injury, and he didn't really feel a lot of confidence. Now he has that asserted confidence. And Trey Benson is really a good guy that they really like. He has a 4.49 40-yard dash. And also Coach Norvell and the staff have also been recruiting him really early at their time at Memphis. And I think it's a guy they really, really like. And I think Trey Benson is actually going to emerge into the number 2 running back spot behind Trayshawn Ward. And I think it's going to be kind of a committee approach. I think Lawrence Toafili is going to be that starting tailback position where he plays in the slot and a little bit out of the backfield. But overall, I think Trey Benson was a really good acquisition for this team going forward. The second one on my list is redshirt sophomore wide receiver Johnny Wilson. He had 12 receptions for 154 yards, 1 touchdown last season with the Arizona State Sun Devils, excuse me. And he had an 89 PFF run block grade, which is really, really impressive considering how there were a lot of deficiencies, especially in Cam McDonald's grade, where he missed basically 2 blocks on this season, and actually 2 of Jordan Travis's 6 interceptions came off of missed blocks from Cam McDonald. And they want to have more blocking on the perimeter. And also, you have to think about it too, is during Kenny Dillingham's media sessions that he had with a lot. I know he's went to Oregon now, but that was one emphasis on the offense is winning one-on-one opportunities. And let's just say that, if you're 6'7", 230 pounds like Johnny Wilson is, you're going to be winning most of those, at least 50% of those, one-on-one opportunities. And I really think that he is more along the lines of a Greg Carr, a former Florida State wide receiver that played for the Florida State Seminoles back in the middle part of the 2000s. And I think that could be a useful part for Jordan Travis, especially to get his confidence going early on. It could help red zone success. It can help a lot of things. So I think Johnny Wilson is going to be an effective piece. He's got to get better at the drops. And he had a little bit of a hamstring injury last season that kind of held him back. So we'll see how it all plays out. But I think at worst, he's going to be a flex tight end / wide receiver, even though he may not put his hand in the dirt. The third one is redshirt sophomore defensive tackle Malcolm Ray. He actually got his black jersey today for the tour of duty sessions, and he had 24 total tackles, 1.5 sacks last season, and 1 quarterback hurry during last season. And I think they're going to need someone to emerge when redshirt senior defensive tackle Robert Cooper and also redshirt junior defensive tackle Fabian Lovett leave for the NFL / graduation. So there's going to be a lot of shoes that need to be filled. I could have also put Joshua Farmer in there as well, but he didn't really get much burn last season, and you're really hoping that he can take that next step. He is up to about 300 pounds now, so that is really impressive for him. But overall, I just want to see Malcolm Ray take that next step forward so that he can be a presumptive starter, considering that Dennis Briggs is actually sliding over to the defensive end position. He might still play defensive tackle on third downs, but overall he's going to be playing that Fox position, and I think Malcolm Ray is really going to have to step up in that reserve role. The fourth guy is redshirt junior linebacker Brendan Gant. He's actually going to be making the switch from defensive back to linebacker. And I think it's really important for him because he has had a lackluster 3-year career with the Seminoles so far, as I alluded to in my last video. And I really think that there is an opportunity for him to shine, especially when you have guys, and pretty much you're going to see that Kalen DeLoach and also Tatum Bethune as well are going to be your 2 starting linebackers there. They're trying to find that third one. DJ Lundy's a really good run stopper, but his game really translates to 2005. He'd be a great linebacker back in those days. But if you really think about it, Amari Gaynor, he's kind of a tweener between a defensive end and an outside linebacker. They really don't know what to do with him. He really seemed confused a lot of times during last season. You got a guy like Steven Dix Jr., he's really lapsed in coverage. He didn't really play much last season. That was really a concern going forward. You're hoping he takes the next step forward. I believe he also got a black jersey recently as well. So we'll see about that. You got Jadarius Green McKnight. He's kind of a safety, moved over to linebacker. We'll see how that move plays out there. He did that a couple of years ago. And then you also got three-star true freshman Omar Graham Jr. And that's also another situation where Florida State may, give him a redshirt year to kind of develop and grow his game, because it's hard for a true freshman linebacker to step in right away. But maybe Brendan Gant can step up and be that kind of a linebacker at that position. The last one is true freshman defensive back Azaria Thomas. He's actually a 6'2", 181-pound defensive back. And ironically enough, at Niceville High School, he was one of a very coveted prospect. I think he should have been a low 5-star, but he was about a high 4-star, and it was a pretty good grade for him overall. He didn't allow a touchdown all season during his senior year of high school, and he had 859 total yards and 17 touchdowns as a wide receiver, so he has a lot of good ball skills. He is very aggressive at the point of attack, and I think personally, with the defensive backfield as it is, you got your three corners as Kevin Noles, you also have Amarian Cooper, and then you have Jarvis Brownlee. I think he could actually replace one of those guys and be a starting cornerback by the end of the season. I think it could be a situation with Amarian Cooper like it was last season, where they finally found a rhythm for him and they were able to get that in. So that's one guy I'm really excited to see there in the defensive backfield. And don't get me wrong, Sam McCall is a really good defensive backfield prospect as well. But I think he's going to convert more as a safety. And I think with Akeem Dent and also Jamie Robinson, that's going to be a situation where Florida State's going to have to figure that out. But the honorable mention that I was mentioning before is redshirt sophomore quarterback Tate Rodemaker. He actually got a black jersey today, which really was surprising from some of the fans there. He's got a strong arm. He's still getting used to the collegiate game. And he also threw for 6,811 yards and 74 touchdowns during his career at Valdosta. So there is potential there. He is a coach's son. He's got a very strong arm, like I said. He's not quite decisive as of yet because I think he got thrown into the fire a little bit too early. And Florida State fans know that all too well because of James Blackman and his game against Alabama being thrown into the fire after Francois got injured. We'll see how he kind of reacts to being that necessarily second-string quarterback, hopefully, because you don't really want to throw A.J. Duffy into the fire unless he's ready. You want to see that strong production, and you want to see maybe him take a year where he can develop and go through the plays and be able to be an effective quarterback. Now, Florida State and their coaching staff must have felt super confident in the quarterback position, or they're waiting for a summer enrollee to see how spring plays out. But with only having 3 scholarship quarterbacks, Tate Rodemaker and also A.J. Duffy, if you want to add him in there as well, have got to step up this spring. They have to take that next step forward, and I hope they do that because Jordan Travis, his durability is kind of a question mark at times. You're hoping that he plays 10 or 11 games this season and is an effective quarterback, which I think he will be. I think he has the potential to be a great quarterback, but the problem is he's going to stay healthy. And I think that's where Florida State fans start to pause and they try to figure out what is best for Jordan Travis going forward and who does he have backing him up in case he does get hurt. Because you don't want to have a Florida game situation where you're bringing in Mackenzie Milton and Tate Rodemaker trying to make ends meet and it didn't work out the way you wanted it to. But I just want to thank each and every one of you for watching my YouTube video about underrated players who I will be monitoring this spring. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And as always, go Noles.